welcome to Basketball Talk Pro. I want to start by just mentioning this. You should be getting this on Saturday afternoon, and of course all day Sunday. But on Monday, I will be sending out a separate email with a one-question survey. It'll take up very little of your time, but it is important, I think, because I'm trying to, move Basketball Talk Pro to the people that are watching and what they're doing, and this will help me. So please take the time to do that survey question. It's an easy question. You won't even have to think about it. You'll know exactly how to answer it. Well, I've had a lot of interest in the video we did a couple times ago called The 5 Steps to Being a Master Coach. And I just want to mention it because by the nature of the interest in it, I think that I'd like to do a little bit more with it, and maybe be able to not only talk about it, but show you a way to apply it, so that you, if you care to reach the very pinnacle of coaching, by that I don't mean a certain level. You can be master of coaching at any level, whether it's from youth to the NBA. So be prepared. I want to do more with that. I want to do more with you on that, so that you can reach that. Well, my title today is Why Play a Zone Defense. And I want to preface it by saying that there's a couple reasons I chose that subject. One of them is this. I think that we, as coaches, tend to listen to things from people that may not be the best sources. And we tend, it's very easy for us to fall back on things that everybody else is doing, which is a very, very dangerous statement. You've heard me say that before. And what appears to be some type of wisdom, I want you to start being open-minded on that. And I'm going to give you just a few examples today. There's a lot of them, but I want to give you just a few examples because it does affect the topic. And that is this, tend not to listen to people who are telling you the obvious, because the reason they're telling you what's very obvious is somebody has told them what's very obvious. And it just becomes, a statement or a buzzword that no one thinks about. Start to become independent thinkers, and that's the real message I'm trying to give here. And I call them, I have a term for them, but it isn't a real good term. Old wives' tales. I mean, we have them in all parts of our life. Some of them are really true, but an awful lot of them are based on nothing. No reason or merit. Somebody said it 2 centuries ago, and people keep just passing it down, and that's what I alluded to in the first part. So be careful of those. We have them in this subject today, and I'll go through those. They're kind of myths in my opinion, but not all of them are bad. I would be very careful listening to broadcasters. I personally don't don't have the sound on when I watch games on TV. I mean, you don't have sound around you when you're other people going crazy. When you're watching a game live, why do you need one when you're watching it on TV? And an awful lot of those broadcasters are guilty of what I'm talking about. Old wives' tales. They're obvious. I mean, it just you should be insulted. But they do have an effect that some of you leave your independent thinking, and you start to say, you know, because this guy said it on an NBA game, this has to be true. It doesn't have to be true. Chances are they're making it up. So, you know, they have to really act like they know a lot of things, or they wouldn't be there. So they, you know, be very careful that turn the volume down. Enjoy the game. Think yourself. Think by yourself. Buzzwords. Be very careful of those. I hear them all the time. You know, my first reaction is ask them, please define that for me. Most of the time they can't define it. You know, an example is he lost his team. No, nobody loses their team. You know, the coach is lost to the team, not him losing the team. There's, you know, that's just a buzzword. No one's ever figured out why they say that, and no one. It doesn't happen. I mean, you might have a bad week or two. You still got your team. They still need you. So don't get into that type of thing. Spacing. You know, people say spacing. You know, some people live by it. What is it exactly? You know, define it. Tell me what it is. People standing around the outside? Is that what you're talking about when you say spacing? There's all kinds of different elements that go in. So my point here is think. Ask yourself, what exactly is spacing? What exactly is this? What, you know, ask that question all the time of anything said to you. And you come up with your own answer for yourself. Well, the zone can give you a lot of myths. And I'm going to talk about in two different ways. One, I'm going to tell you why not to play a zone. That doesn't mean I'm saying don't play a zone. I'm saying don't play a zone for these reasons. And then the second part, I'm going to tell you, in my opinion, very simply why you should play a zone. What are the reasons that would coerce you to play a zone defense? First of all, one of the ones that comes up right away is we're outmatched, so we got to play a zone against them. Now, I've seen that. We played Indiana when I was with Orlando the day after the big fight, when they had the big fight with Detroit, and half the team was you know, suspended. And that night, we were playing them the very next night, and they played a 2-3 zone because they thought they were outmatched, and they were short-handed. But you know, truth is, we won the game. I mean, they maybe troubled us a little bit with the zone, but we won the game. And you know, it's that's where it all comes down to. And foul trouble is another one. I can't understand how you will have more fouls playing man-to-man than you will playing a zone. I don't think that is a realistic reason. Play your best defense. Now you might, if you're down to 6 people, I'm not even sure then that it would give you any security that you're not going to foul people out. Remember, in a zone defense, you know where the men are that have the foul trouble. In a man-to-man, you don't have to, you may not be able to utilize the fact that a guy's got foul trouble. You can put your best player in the zone of the man with foul trouble. And now you shoot that foul trouble thing down. Don't also be lured into playing zone because of rebounding. They got a big team, and so you're going to play zone to help your rebounding. That won't happen. The zone is a very poor defensive rebounding defense. Not a poor one, that's the wrong way to say it. Not as good as playing man-to-man. And the statement, well, we just can't play man-to-man. We don't have enough, they're not good enough defenders. They're not going to be good defenders in the zone either. That is not the reason to play a zone. What you are faced with is make your players better defended players. Work more and harder and more systematically on becoming better players defensively. Then you can play either one. Just because you can't play man-to-man or think you can't play man, I don't understand why anybody can't play man-to-man defense. You put yourself in a weakened position. And the other thing is, the other one I'd like to talk to you about is, it does deteriorate your man-to-man, and be careful of this. I think a lot of times in the NBA, a reason you don't see a lot of zone is because coaches don't want to take away from their man-to-man. They feel that they've got to play it night after night after night to get really good at it, and I would agree with that. I don't agree with not using a zone, but I agree that if you're going to, you've got to use it in a way that doesn't deteriorate from your man-to-man. So that brings me to two reasons to play a zone. One of them is, and it works, and it's very helpful, is to play a zone to change the rhythm and pace of the game. Doesn't need to be long. It might be as little as 2 or 3 possessions. But I've seen teams, when Phoenix had that team that was scoring like, I don't remember how many points, 110 points a game, they were trying to shoot every 10 seconds. When I was at Orlando, we switched to a zone for about 5 possessions. It slowed them down, and they stayed slowed down the rest of the game. They had a different rhythm. They didn't get out of the zone rhythm and back to their fast-paced rhythm. You'd be surprised how many times you can do that. So it's an arsenal that you can use from time to time. I think you can use it well too, but don't go into it for the other reasons. The game is in a certain rhythm that the opponents seem comfortable in. You can change that and throw them into another rhythm. It slows things down to play against a zone. Just run your own practices. I told you, I can't remember which one one video, I didn't like to practice against zones, or practice our zone even, because it's slower. It just is, even though we are pretty much an attack type of team, it slows the opportunities to get quicker baskets, quicker good shots. Now the second reason that I would say play a zone is to make it your major defense, not a secondary defense that you play against certain teams because of they got certain personnel or whatever. But turn it around. Make it your primary defense. Make it your only defense. I gave you an example of one, Syracuse. I mean, they don't play man-to-man. If they played man-to-man, it'd be to change the rhythm. But they stay with the zone. They get very good at it, just like you can get good at a man-to-man. But don't tell me, I've watched them play too much, that it's because they don't have the right kind of players. They got players that could play man-to-man. Nothing wrong with developing a system based on a zone defense. If that's what you're comfortable with and that's what you want to play for whatever reason, then do it. Play it the whole game. I'll give you another example. Paul Westhead went, we were together at Orlando. He went to the WNBA and took the Phoenix team, which was struggling. And he took the Rover defense, the same defense I've showed you, with him. But he played it the whole game. It was a professional league, the same relationship as men as were with those women. And he won the championship with it. Played it every minute. I went to 2 of his games in the finals. He played every minute. He made it his best defense. He made it his primary defense. If you do that, then you learn how to play it. You learn, your players get comfortable with the things that they have to do. And you have to learn to accept the weaknesses of it, just like you have to learn to accept the man-to-man weaknesses on a particular team. Those 2 reasons, to me, are well thought out. I mean, there's a conscious decision made to use a zone as a rhythm breaker. There's a conscious decision made to use it as your primary defense. That's the 2 reasons I think you should play zone if you want to. Well, that's it for today. Look forward to some things coming up in the next few videos, and also please do the one questions survey that will be come to you on an email on Monday. Thank you.